till I can't no more.
I got the horses in the bag. Horse stock is a tag.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Protocol 36. Today's video, we'll be speculating what the title will be for Spider-Man 3. There have been different types of title that have been going around, from theories to rumors. So I wanted to make this video to take a crack on what I think the title could possibly be. Before we begin, I just want to encourage you guys to subscribe if you haven't already, as I'll continue to make consistent content for you guys, and to click on the notification bell in order to not miss any of my future videos. I'll be slowly working my way up on what I think the movie's title will be. Now we know that Marvel and Sony wants to keep the word home in their titles, at least when it comes to their Spider-Man trilogy. For example, when it came to Homecoming, it wasn't only Spider-Man coming back home to the MCU, but it was also about the homecoming dance, which was the same night his fight with Vulture took place. And there was also an important element to the story too, figuring out the fact that Liz Allen was the daughter of the Vulture. And with Far From Home, him being outside of New York, being far from home literally, and also with the death of Tony Stark, being far from home mentally as well, and emotionally. So I do believe that when it comes to Spider-Man 3, they will apply the same type of rule for that title. A lot of people theorize that Spider-Man 3's title will be Welcome Home, after Disney and Sony was no longer able to continue with the Spider-Man deal last year. However, they were able to fix that in a month's time. So a lot of people were speculating that maybe it could be Welcome Home. I personally don't think so, because of the fact that the Spider-Man movies always worked with double meanings. I think it's unlikely, plus I think the title needs to have somewhat of a darker tone because of what Peter Parker will most likely have to go through. And I think when it came to Welcome Home, it was mostly a joke type of title for the time. I don't think when people were theorizing that would be the case, they were actually serious about it. However, it was one of the titles people were speculating about. The next title I'll be hearing a lot as well is Home for the Holidays. Would also make sense because of the fact that the movie could take place during the winter time, where the movie will be releasing December 2021. And a lot of people always wanted a live action Spider-Man movie that takes place in the winter. So I can definitely see where this theory is coming from. However, again, I don't think this will be it, but you never know. The current rumored title for Spider-Man 3 is Spider-Man Homesick, which also kind of make a little bit sense. However, the reason why I don't think this will be the case is because of the fact that this was one of the titles considered for Spider-Man Far From Home before they came up the title for that movie, and they basically described that it was kind of an awful title because, you know, homesick, they just abandoned that and went with Far From Home. And to me, it wouldn't make sense for them to just bring that back for the third movie. It does make sense in terms of the narrative of what Spider-Man 3 will most likely be about. However, I definitely don't think they would try to bring that idea in. That's not to say that they won't bring in other ideas that came up for Far From Home, but I don't think they will bring that specific title in. However, I could be wrong. One of the other rumored titles was also Spider-Man Home Run. I don't think this makes a lot of sense because, yes, even though Peter Parker will be on the run, since everyone knows Peter Parker and Spider-Man are one in the same, home run basically means an impressive success, and Peter Parker wasn't exactly successful at the end of Far From Home. While yes, he did defeat Mysterio, he did save London, Mysterio did pull the last trick on him and everyone else, so I don't think I can call that an impressive success in the long term. Homebound is also a title a lot of people came up with, and this to me looks like to be one of the most likely options because of the fact that homebound means you can't leave home. So basically, since, you know, Peter is stuck and he has nowhere else to go, especially when he's on the run, to me this kind of makes sense, and I wouldn't be surprised if this turns out to be one of the title for the film. Another title for Spider-Man 3 could also be Home Invasion. I think Home Invasion is also a title most suitable for the third film. This has more of a chance to be the title than Homebound because it kind of has the double meaning which Marvel Studios and Sony are going for, since not only was Peter's privacy invaded, but also the fact that his literal home, the home he lives with Aunt May, will also be invaded too, because everyone is going to be looking for Peter after Mysterio exposed him. And with Homebound, there's only one meaning, so unless Marvel Studios and Sony wants to make an exception for the third film, I definitely see Home Invasion having more of the chance to be the title than Homebound. However, they're both great titles and would make sense for the third film. One title people has been speculating about is Spider-Man Homelander. Get it? Because Homelander from The Boys, which is also made by Sony. Anyone? No? Okay. But one title I'm really hoping for, and I think also has a really good chance of being named for the third film, is War at Home, War at Home was also a title used for the Amazing Spider-Man issue 536, part 5 of the Civil War tie-in, where after Peter revealed his secret identity and realizing that Iron Man was in the wrong, he confronts him, and he would later go on the run with Aunt May and his wife Mary Jane. And since that is not the exact plot of what happened in Far From Home and what will happen in the third film, I do believe they will take a lot of elements from that story, as the number one target after Peter Parker's secret was exposed was his family. So Aunt May is going to be the number one person in danger since she lives with and raised Peter Parker. I do believe that his other friends will be in danger as well, however not by the authorities since they don't live with Peter, but they would most likely be accused of being associates of him. So there's a chance that they could also be in the run as well, or even one of them be taken in by the police. So I do believe that not only is it a perfect title, but it would also have the double meaning that Marvel Studios and Sony are going for, being War at Home, since the whole city is against Peter Parker and he has to go to war to pretty much clear his name. And also there's most likely going to be casualties, as I mentioned in one of my previous videos. Not to mention Marvel Studios loves to use war in the title films, so why stop there? So yes, I do believe that War at Home would be a perfect title for the third MCU Spider-Man film. However, when it comes to the most likely options, it would probably be Home Invasion or War at Home, but I'm leaning towards Home Invasion since probably a title both Sony and Marvel wants to go for. However, what about you guys? What do you think the third title for the third MCU Spider-Man film would be? Let me know in the comments down below. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like, and one more, subscribe. To begin, Podcast 36.